Right, let's find out a bit more then about the detention of two Turkish people by forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar. We can speak to Anas Al-Gomati, who's director of the Tripoli-based Sadeq Institute. He's joining us, though, from London. What do you make of this incident, then? Khalifa Haftar has called these two detainees spies.
Well, I think it comes on the back of many other statements that have been made since the beginning of Khalifa Haftar's operation. So this is something that we still have to wait to really understand the details. But in the first 72 hours of Khalifa Haftar's operation in 2014, we should remember that he detained all Turkish laborers and migrant workers, really, that were working in the east of the country, and labeled them suspects as being spies or being alleged terrorist cells based in Benghazi. Many of them were working for the National Oil Corporation or working for local Turkish construction companies in the city. So it's very, very difficult to kind of see through the weeds at times with Khalifa Haftar's kind of propaganda machine. It does tend to try and find anything that will add to the very unsubstantiated claims that he's been making for 4 or 5 years. But it's nothing new. I mean, the claims that have been made so far are that they have communication equipment, that they have they've been sending bullets to Libya. These claims have been made over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's oftentimes the case of the boy that cried wolf. Right.
Do you have any idea as to how many Turkish nationals there are in Libya? You mentioned that many of them are involved in construction. We understand that this particular pair may have been restaurant workers.
Yeah, it's very likely. I mean, I think there is a strong kind of burgeoning Turkish expatriate and migrant community in Tripoli. It's difficult to know numbers, but I mean, they could be in the hundreds, early thousands. I mean, in the oil sector, at least, there were a couple of Turks that were also kidnapped over the last couple of years in the south of Libya, near the oil terminals in the southwest. So this wouldn't be a new case of having foreign nationals get kidnapped and extorted. But in this case, it would be kidnapped and then held up to a camera to kind of parade this counter-terrorism narrative and try to offer it substance where there's been very, very little substance at all. In fact, at the end of last year, there was a alleged arms shipment that was taken from the port near Misrata, which is in the GNA, the UN-backed government-controlled territory. And the LNA tried to allege that they were shipping bullets to the country to find out when independent investigations took place that they were toy weapons and they were false bullets. So at times you find that there is just a need to interpret this kind of news and a need to kind of show any kind of smoke and mirror when it comes to finding nationals or foreign nationals or laborers, and try to parade them as evidence of this counter-terrorism narrative that has really lost mileage given the latest offensive in Tripoli, where at least 40,000 civilians have been displaced, 60,000 civilians have been displaced, where thousands have been killed and thousands injured. So it's disgusting to think that this is the way that the propaganda machine tries to churn these things out, and that foreign nationals that are working and trying to get a basic living for their families and for themselves are then taken into part of a very, very nasty and very toxic narrative.
Anas Al-Gomati, thank you.